The Midnight Library by the Sea. The town appeared just after the road began to shine with rain. It was not a large town, and it did not announce itself with signs or bright windows. It simply gathered at the edge of the sea, low and quiet, as if it had been waiting there for many years without needing to be found. The traveler arrived near midnight, carrying only a small bag and a kind of tiredness that had no clear beginning. Every window in the town glowed with warm amber light. Not brightly. Not as if anyone were still awake and busy. The lights seemed to breathe behind the curtains, like lanterns left on for travelers who had forgotten how to rest. The traveler followed the street downhill, with old houses on one side and the dark sea moving softly on the other. At the end of the narrow street stood a library. It was smaller than the traveler expected. Its door was painted deep blue, and above it hung a wooden sign with no name, only a small golden moon carved into the center. A single note was pinned beside the handle. Open after midnight. Inside, the library smelled of cedarwood, paper, and the faint salt of the sea. Shelves rose from floor to ceiling, but they did not feel heavy or crowded. Each book had room to breathe. Small lamps sat between the shelves, glowing amber. There was no librarian at the desk, only a cup of tea, still warm, and a small card placed beside it. For those who have carried too much of the day. The books were not arranged by subject. There were no labels for history, travel, or poetry. Instead, each shelf carried a quiet phrase written in silver ink. Things you no longer need to solve. Words that can wait until morning. Dreams that still remember you. The traveler stopped before a shelf near the back window, where moonlight lay across the floor. One book rested slightly forward, as if it had leaned out to be noticed. Its cover was soft gray, and its title was written in small blue letters. The Day You Are Allowed to Put Down. The traveler carried it to a reading chair by the window. Outside, the rain had become finer, almost mist. When the traveler opened the book, there was no story about kings, battles, or distant adventures. There was no lesson waiting at the end. The first page held only one sentence. You have done enough for one day. The traveler read it again. Something in their chest loosened, not dramatically, but the way a knot loosens when patient fingers stop pulling and simply wait. The next page showed a small room with a window open to rain. The traveler could almost hear it, the ticking of a clock, the hush of water in the gutter, the quiet of cleaned sheets. Beneath the picture were the words, "Some thoughts are visitors. You do not have to give each one a room." The book continued in this way, page after page, not telling the traveler what had happened, but helping them release what had remained. The meeting that had gone poorly. The message that had not been answered. The worry that had followed them from room to room. Each page made a little space around these things, and in that space, they became smaller. Across the room, another book slid quietly from a shelf. Its pages were blank at first. Then, slowly, words appeared in dark blue ink. Tomorrow does not need to be carried tonight. The traveler closed their eyes. The town outside was still. The sea moved without hurry. The amber lights continued to glow, each one a small promise that rest was allowed here. When the traveler opened their eyes again, the first gray hint of morning had touched the edge of the sea. The library was quiet. The books were back on their shelves. The teacup was empty. The blue door stood slightly open, letting in the scent of rain, salt, and early light. The traveler picked up their bag. It felt lighter than before. At the door, they turned back once. The library did not ask to be remembered. It did not ask for thanks. It simply waited, as gentle places do, for the next tired person to find the end of the road at the right hour. Behind them, the blue door closed softly.